Hey there everyone, it's New here, going to do some Crimson Temple maps. It's been quite a few days since I've been farming. I've been doing hardly any farming this week, been so busy, but finally getting around to the sort of semi-juicing strategy that I've notoriously been known for on Cemetery. Not just the past farming video, but even a whole bunch of last season, and applying that to Crimson Temple for the first time. Not sure if this is the most prudent strategy to do, especially since I'm choosing to do Legion on there. Yes, Legion in the Crimson Temple. I still think Legion is really good on its own right, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I do have a few gear upgrades. I'll go over those real quick. We'll go over the strategy. It's going to be pretty quick because it's going to look very familiar to any of you who have seen me do these farming strategies before. So a couple major upgrades here, or perhaps an odd decision to switch out a Magic Find ring for a super strong half recombinated, half Hunter Influence ring. This is just a thing of beauty, except for that ugly 5th affix, the lightning res, which I couldn't really control or do anything about. Just close your eyes and slam on that. The other 4 affixes are just unbelievably good, and I have no idea what this ring is worth, but it's worth a lot to me because I am trying to solo level to 100, and that's the main reason I want it on there. It effectively gave me about 400 more health on a character that is actually very tanky, aside from actual health pool. So this is a huge boost to my effective health, I think. Also, getting the minus total mana cost on there enabled me to remove the Replica Conqueror's efficiency, which enabled me to add something really nice on here. I was kind of sad to see myself lose Far Shot when I switched out the Lionized Glare for a much better rare bow, so I got Far Shot back on my character. And again, if you saw that video before, you would have heard me mention that I think Far Shot in combination with Point Blank is roughly 20% more damage across the board, or Far Shot just by itself is essentially adding about 20% more damage across the board. Obviously it's a bit variable depending on the distance, but yeah, that's what I believe, so I'm going Far Shot here. There's obviously a huge number of possibilities you could have here. You could try to get immune to ailments by doing some of the Raider Ascendancy. You could have 100% more Onslaught effect with 10% more evasion. Wouldn't be a terrible idea. I have 6 Frenzy charges, so the Frenzy charge, you know, I get 24% movement speed with Frenzy charges if I wanted to. Wouldn't be a bad idea either. Could have went Focal Point also. So yeah, still doing Windward. I'm a big believer in Windward for this strategy. I think it is a terrific, highly unrated ascendancy specific to this build because of the attack speed and the nature of how it plays. A few little things switched around. I did go ahead and put Graceful Assault back in. One of my content viewers made a good point, and it just didn't really occur to me at the time, but even though I have Onslaught, I'm so used to having Onslaught automatically by running a Raider, and then I was like, well, you know, if I go with Deadeye, it's okay. I'm still going to have Onslaught on almost all the time because of how Darius's Defiance works. But then it occurred to me that actually I go through much of the map without getting hit at all. And I started paying attention to my Onslaught uptime, and it was abysmally low. So it made me realize, well, you know, if I'm investing all this all this currency or these stat points into Onslaught, like 100% increased Onslaught effect, I should probably make sure I have Onslaught up basically 100% of the time while I'm mapping. So that's why I had to go ahead and put these points in here. These are great points in their own right. Anyway, it's also giving me, I think, an extra 10% increased movement speed as well from the increased Onslaught effect there. It's giving me actually a lot more armor too, because I get almost no sources of percent increased armor. In fact, I think this might be the only source of it, so that's really terrific as well. Still got my Brutal Restraint in there, still got the Inspired Learning. Watcher's Eye did switch out over to the cold damage, and then just a movement speed. This is a 2x Watcher's Eye. I did obviously divine it up. That cost a little bit extra. Yeah, and then we got Far Shot on there. I think I upgraded one of my Flask Jewels maybe. Yeah, a few incremental upgrades. Some really, the most interesting things are this ring. Also switch out a series step for these boots, because again, trying to solo level, so obviously you can get much better boots in a series step. Of course, the end game will be magic find boots and 2 rings at least. This is still, I think, the same ring from before. Went ahead and switched out the anointment, and switching out the anointment for a typical stat roll, it made me lose, I think it was 12% elemental penetration, so that's how much omniscience I lost. I lost like 120 omniscience, but I gained an extra curse, and the extra curse here gives me 26% elemental penetration, which is a net 14% gain. So that I think is absolutely worth doing, except when I happen to roll on a map where the monsters are immune to curses. Obviously, then it's not, but still, I think overall that's pretty significant gain, so definitely worth doing. Same helmet, same quiver, because it's still high-end. I will be coming out with a high-end video guide here coming out pretty soon, or not guide, but build showcase. So we've done the low end, and then the mid-tier for the showcase on Omniscience with Soul Thirst, and then I will showcase the high budget variation of that. I think I got my gear pretty where I want to for a pretty good representation of what a high budget, which is somewhere around the between 100 and 200 exalt range, I think, just before you reach the mirror tier. Yeah. Still gonna be leveling enhanced supports. After this video, I am gonna switch out to start leveling level or awaken enhanced supports. But for this video, I will still do the simple ones here. Each enhanced support level 2, level 3 uncorrupted will be worth half an exalt like last video. Each grasping mail will be worth 1 exalt in last video. The most recent grasping mail I sold for 8 exalts, so I really am being extra conservative in that estimate, I think. But yeah, so let's get here to the video. For some reason, my investment cost is quite a bit less than it was before. Last time it was like 23 exalts. This time it's only 19.6 exalts, which is a little odd. I'm not really sure what happened or why the number is so much less, but I will tell you this though. I am aware that the Enraged Strongbox monsters Sextant has gone up quite a bit. Not because I'm some big name streamer and people finally caught on to what I was doing, but because some of the actual big name streamers finally did start catching on to some of the better forms of divination card farming in the game, which involves strong boxes heavily. So these have gone up something like 20 chaos apiece, all the way up to like 50 chaos apiece last I checked. I am still calculating these at 20 chaos apiece because I want to do as much of an apples to apples comparison I can to the cemetery farm. I'm aware that the cemetery farm, I got really bad RNG, but when I calculated the estimated 3 brother stashes in 100 maps, I came out to just a hair over 12x an hour, so I want to see how I fare next to 12x an hour. PSA, public service announcement. After that horribly long streak of no brother stashes, I think I went another 15 maps or so with a no brother stash, and then I found 3 in 1 map, which is another new record broken. So I found 2 from a Strongbox and found another one from, I think, a breach monster like 20 seconds later, which is absolutely insane. What a way to break a terrible streak. Yeah, and then I found a 4th one like a few maps later, and then a 5th one like 15 maps later or something. So you know, that's just how it goes. I found something like 5 brother stashes in 20 maps. You know, isn't that just the way it goes, I guess? So unfortunately 0 in the 100 maps from the last video, but I am going to assume that the brother stash drop rate did not indeed get nerfed. I think the thing we're overlooking a lot now, after having given a lot of thought, I think it's the fact that we're not going beyond, and not going beyond on the Kirak crafting bench in particular. So even when I do eventually go beyond, it still won't be the same because we don't have all that excessive amount of beyond on every single map. I don't think the extra shrines, the monsters from the shrine, can really even come close to making up for that much loss of beyond. Headhunter recently got buffed a lot. I know I do not have a Headhunter. At some point I will. I'm saving for a mirror. I'm going to mirror Path of Math's super good bow. Best bow in the league ever. Best league bow literally ever created. Physical bow. So I'm working towards that. I was doing a bunch of recombination on bows beforehand to get a bow like this. The final product of the other ones, after been from the previous crafting videos, they have been rolled up to near perfection, and I think, you know, these cost me something like half of the price that I'm trying to sell them for, or much less in this case. These are both well over 700 DPS physical bows. One has only one additional arrow. The cost to make it was a lot less, therefore. And the other one does have 2 additional arrows. I'm expecting those to sell for fairly close to the price that I'm listing for, actually. Yeah. So all the exalted orbs here cover the cost of the sextants. I think this sextant I budgeted... Oh, actually here, I am going to throw an extra exalted. I realized I made a mistake that I didn't count the... I counted these as Legion Sextants only and not the 8-mod corrupted map, so I'm going to add one exalted. That should help cover some of the difference. Gloom Shrine, something like 4 chaos apiece. This 2 extra strong boxes, like 4 chaos apiece. And again, I counted this one at 20 chaos apiece. That's undervaluing it, I'm well aware. And for future videos, I will be valuing it appropriately. Again, I'm trying to make an apples-to-apples comparison on this video.
My mana is gone.
So it's important to me that we get as close as we can. I'm really curious to see what kind of divination cards we get here. I'm actually projecting I do see 1 Apothecary in 100 maps with this strategy. I think that's probably to be expected. And that's based on anecdotal evidence from the major 6-man party streaming. They say Brother Stash is only 2 to maybe 3 times more rare than Brother Stash. So that does pretty well scream 1 Apothecary, maybe 2 in 100 maps on average. 7 years bad luck and the Enlightened also drop on this map, and they're worth a fair bit. I think they have a similar drop rate to Brother Stash, maybe slightly more common for the Enlightened anyway. Yeah. Alright, so let's, well, let me make sure we're down here. Yes, we are. Okay. Resetting. Excellent here to see what kind of currency investment we're starting. Okay, 20 point. That seems respectable. Okay. 20.6 to exalts investment. That is still a full 3 exalts less than before. Maybe it's because the price of maps has dropped a bit, which that would make a little bit of sense. The price of Scarabs may have dropped a little bit, especially like Legion Scarabs. I'm not really sure, so we'll just kind of take it for what it is. But we're going to get this farming session started. Last time it took me 8 hours to do 100 maps, so I'm guessing it's going to take about 8 hours. It might take longer, actually, because Crimson Temple is a little bit more annoying of a layout. I'm hoping not. It might actually be faster because I'm just stronger than I was. My gear is definitely a bit better than it was. It's been a full week since I did a farming video. And to be honest, I haven't really been farming all that much, as mentioned earlier. Not going to run Alva, still going to do Eater of Worlds, the same, I think it's like the exact same tree that I had before. So yeah, it should be the exact same tree as before. I haven't touched this tree in a long time, actually. Yeah, still running Dance of Destruction. I am expecting to gain some progress on leveling. Might even level to 99 here. We'll see. I think, you know, I do feel like I got an incredibly good, strong character on my hands, with or without a high-end budget. So that's about it. We're going to jump into this and start the run. Of course, Delirium Mirror spawned right off the bat. Okay, just doing one last quick thing to my UI. Alright, 2:10 local time. Let's go. Okay, so the strategy here for Crimson Temple, I have found the best thing to do is basically beeline for the boss, do strong boxes along the way. If you must, actually do skip Legion mechanics on the way. Trying to pick up the shrines as much as I can. I don't really want to see too many altars too soon. You see this boss, you know, just like every boss in the game, just dies instantly, basically.
My mana is gone.
I am running Sentinel. I'm trying to prioritize quantity a little bit over everything else. Most of my Sentinels do have a quantity role as well as one other premium role. Again, I get tons of of Sentinels, so it's not hard at all. To get all these, yeah, quite easy. I probably missed a few Legion monsters there. Don't want to miss that breach completely, that would be dumb. Would have been nice if I had the Gloom Shrine earlier. I'm not worried about looting too much. Definitely do feel stronger, definitely feel the power of actually having Onslaught on me reliably. But again, if you actually see how often I get hit, first of all, you'll see I have all 10 Galewind stacks almost all the time. And then, you know, occasionally I don't, but it's actually quite rare that I get hit by anything. A spell, a melee attack, a ranged projectile attack. So because it's so rare, I wouldn't necessarily have Onslaught otherwise. I've actually completely forgot that I'm doing a Delirium map. I'm just kind of blazing through this as if it's a normal map. Oh, and then I died, of course. You know, go figure. Well, that's... I guess that was just one rogue projectile or something. Not really sure. Okay, well, kind of glad to get that death out of the way early. It is kind of unfortunate I had exactly 2.5 bars progress there, but you still get a lot of leveling points each map. A lot of experience gained, even without Beyond. Get even more gained when you run Beyond. At some point I may actually put Beyond. In fact, I think regardless of whether I hit level 100 or not in the near future, I will actually throw Beyond onto the Atlas, and I'm expecting the levels gained to be so overwhelming compared to deaths that unless I just die right and left, then I'll just go with it. Yeah. Should probably remove anything under 16, huh? So there, the map is done, I think. I'm gonna loot the map, obviously. There was no Divination card drop. This map, they are gonna be pretty rare overall. Oh, there's a... Unfortunately, there's a Legion boss there that is still at full health, so I'm just gonna forget about him. I don't have a way to increase my Soul Thirst stacks right now. Curious what you guys think of the Headhunter changes. I know a lot of people are really kind of divided on that. It would seem that the more prominent players who, you know, have reliably get a Headhunter every single season, the people who I would think know quite a bit about Headhunter and know how to judge it appropriately, they almost all seem to think that it is in good shape. Like it's quite, you know, for the most part, returned to its former glory. Maybe a little bit different. A ton of people are complaining about Echoist. My solution to Echoist is to run Withering Step as opposed to a more traditional movement skill. So it kind of it irks me to see so many people complain about an ability, an anti-synergy between an ability that they don't even need to use. You don't need to use Flame Dash. You don't need to use Dash. Sure, you know, on like an Uber Pinnacle boss fight, yeah, alright, I can see a case to be made for where you kind of really do have to use one. But, for anything else? Not really. For mapping, which is when you would be using a Headhunter, what do you need a movement skill? What do you need a movement skill for? I don't need a movement skill. What does anyone need a movement skill for? I really don't understand. The moment I started getting annoyed by the Echoes thing, I just switched over to the other movement skill. And honestly, Withering Step is better anyway. Once you hit a certain threshold of movement speed, the dash slows you down because of ping and everything, with or without Echoes. Anyway, that's my opinion on that. So I think it's a sort of gotta break the mold of the meta in your mind sort of situation. People are just too dead set on playing the game a certain way. Last I checked, this game was all about them introducing new challenges to you and you having to figure out ways to adapt to it. So that's, I always thought that was the name of the game. That's weird. Not taking any damage. There we go. A little better. She didn't take any damage there for a second. Hey, acceleration speed shrine. That was a wasted Sentinel. Definitely feel like I could be going through these maps more quickly. Okay, so that is Divination cards of can't be duplicated. That is probably going to be my favorite altar to hit. Increased quantity of items found will be my second favorite. Just throwing that out there. So you can see that I think a lot of people wouldn't like Legion on Crimson Temple because they feel like you can't unlock it all. I mean, I don't even have to pay attention to it that much or try that hard to unlock it all. Again, I mean, especially if you have a major acceleration speed shrine. Of course, if you don't, maybe it is a bit harder. But yeah, and certainly spawning less monsters on this map than I would be on an open map, but again, the rewards are just so good from it. I keep getting raw exalted orbs randomly out of Legion chests, and you know, you get really good things from the premium incubators as well. I'm curious if they ever decide to buff Inspired Learning. Probably not, because it's probably pretty balanced now. What? A red star dropped, and I can't see what it is because that whole computer just like freaked out. My computer's freaking out right now. What buffs do I have that are so bad? How did I not die there? That's insane. Okay, well, literally an actual divination card dropped and my computer just wigged the hell out. I haven't seen that before. At least not one time. Now it's running like buttery smooth suddenly for the rest of this map. Weird. Jesus. Sorry, found a second. So we finally found our first map specific divination card. And suddenly I don't feel quite as tired as but it's the worst one of the three, is the Enlightened. Thing's worth so much at League Start. Imbued one. Imbued one, you say? Well, another red star. Oh, Aegis Aura Wani. Wow, finally found a good unique for once. Like an actually good unique in the game. Like no trolling, that is a good unique. It's probably still worth over an Exalt, at least. RNG starting to turn around a little bit. Oh! That just literally just slapped me in the face. Like for a split second I saw it drop. I didn't realize what it was because it was like right in my face. I'm like, what is that? Oh! Well, there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, that is an Apothecary. One Apothecary and 100 maps. Actually, it's only been like, I think this is map 38. Somewhere around 40 right now. I've actually had pretty awful RNG so far until a few maps ago. I found an Aegis Aura shield, and then I'm not even using my flasks. But I also found one Enlightened, and then I've only found 2 Exalted Orbs. I found like 12 Divine Orbs. 2 Exalted. So I had really awful RNG, and then suddenly I wasn't that worried about it because really this farm is just all about finding the Apothecary. I mean, it just more than makes up for any sort of bad RNG to find at least one of those in a lot of maps, like, I don't know, 100. So, as far as like grand total number, I've found 2 Apothecaries in approximately 150 Crimson Temple runs, which, according to the rumors that I hear, it's only about twice or 2 or maybe 3 times as rare as Brother Stash. That's kind of it. That's pretty well in alignment with what I would estimate. Yeah. I mean, it's still worth a lot. Even with recent buffs to Headhunter, this card is still sitting at what, in the high 30s Exalt range. So as much as I'm not a huge fan of Crimson layout and I'd much rather be on Cemetery, at this value, at a value of like 38 Exalts or whatever, that's hard to contend with. You know? I mean, that's 7 Brother Stashes, so, you know, I'd have to really, really, really hate this layout to kind of overlook that sort of value differential.
My mana is gone.
And that's not even factoring in that 7 Years Bad Luck also dropped in here, which that card will be going up in value forever until the end of the league. So, like 1 month or 2 months from now, 1 month from now, the 7 Years Bad Luck will be worth like twice as much as it is now, for example. So, yeah. Yeah, thank you to all who were here. The first Apothecary on stream. We'll continue running this until the break, and then 50 more maps at the end of the break. You know, get off the break, and then, assuming that I don't like fall asleep, but try to get all 100 maps done in one day, and push this video out. It's more of a mental block than anything. There's a red star up there. The first time I've seen a red star like on the map that I can't see what the actual drop is yet. Maybe it's a 7 Years of Bad Luck. Actually, it's probably an Exalted Orb. I guess I'll go find out what it is now. It is a 7 Years Bad Luck. Well, looky there. About time that card dropped. Something like this. Well, actually, I know exactly what map this is. We're 2 maps away from the break. This is map number 49. So that's it. 7 Years Bad Luck, the Enlightened, and the Apothecary. I've dropped 1 of each. They're now off to the races, I guess. That's the way to put it. What? This guy for real? Okay, there we go. I don't know why I was so excited for a second. Double abandoned wealth is nice to see. I have seen that happen actually once this season. Still haven't seen the double alluring bounty one. That one used to be common. Actually, all the zombies go down there. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I mean that's a highlight reel, I guess. Technically. "7 years, bad luck." What? Here, I was concerned about the amazing Pandemonium Sentinel I just set off. Another red star up top. Oh, no, no. No way. Oh, I hit the wrong altar there. What's this up here? Oh, a Maloney's Quiver. Well, hey, actually, that's actually worth at least an exalt right now, I think. Come to think of it. Because Grimrose doing Bleeding Gladiator or whatever it is. Everyone and their dog wants that quiver. I want the quiver too, actually, for my gem leveling though. So, S tier gem leveling alternate weapon setup. I'm even thinking of double corrupting it just to get 3 white sockets on it. That's how I'll know I'm really set for the rest of the league, when I get around double corrupting a Maloney's Quiver just to get 3 white sockets on it. Just for gem leveling convenience and not having to mess with the colors at all. As a side point though, I used to corrupt Maloney's Quivers to get it to turn into a normal base for as a crafting base. I think those days are over now though. Actually, I'm forgetting what the implicit for the standard base is. Oh yeah, it's one socket. Duh, yeah, it's a socket. The only quiver in the game to give you an open socket implicit. That's badass. Hit all that. Yeah. Got one. Mariketh emblem. I remember seeing something drop out of there. Really, again? The chest just keeps on giving. I feel like I'm not getting any incubators. Oh, that's a Mariketh. I think there's a Mariketh boss horde here. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I think so. Is the boss here? There's 2 raw emblems off the monsters. Damn, I don't know if I've ever seen that. First of all, most of the emblems come from the chest, not the boss. Or the random rare monsters. That was sick. Absolutely sick. 3 Mariketh emblems. 1 map. I haven't seen RNG like that in a while either. What a nice run, man. This has been a great few runs here. Of course, you know, being part of a big streamer community is fun too, I guess. Red star off of the monsters from the Strongbox. That has real potential. That has real potential. What could it be? I take it back. That's not that. That would probably a fluke. That probably came out of an incubator. False alarm. Forget what I just said. That sure felt like it came out of the straw. That must have come out. What? Oh. Oh. Okay. I see. I see how it is. I got juked. I got juked earlier with the Saintly Mail. Actually, isn't 6-socket a Saintly Mail? Isn't that premium chest base for 6-socket? Isn't that like the Inquisitor chest base? All of his real-life friends are quitting the game, I guess. And I'm like sitting here reading in like you say, had like a 6-man party, like an actual like organized 6-man party of real-life friends, and I'm like over here like, huh. I've been playing video games my entire life, basically. And at one very, very brief moment in my life, did I have a real-life friend who was playing a video game that I wanted to be playing, and that we actually played together. Hey, Breach Monster, hello. That's nice. Only once, for like 4-month period of time. It was World of Warcraft sometime between Vanilla and Burning Crusade, which was of course a glorious time to play with anyone, real life friend or not. That was one of the best times to be alive, actually, as a gamer. But that was the only time ever have I played video games with a real life friend. And that must be why I like ARPGs so much, because they're basically... I don't know how to say this. They're a loser's way to be social, I guess. So you can still play single player, but still feel like you're part of a community in some weird fashion, and you can get a little bit of that fix, but still be, you know, the single player that you've always been. I don't know. It's I don't know how else to say it. Kind of how it feels. I really do like ARPG trade-based games because they have an element of multiplayerness to them, but they're effectively a single-player game. Even when I played World of Warcraft, it's incredibly frustrating to play it at a upper tier of or at a certain level of play that I want to play, and then, you know, the moment you have like friends who aren't performing as well as you should, or the moment you have a bad day yourself and you're not performing as well, and like it's like, what are you gonna do? Boot your real life friend out of a raid because they're not performing? It's just like one of those kind of weird things. I guess it's a solo life for me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the final tally. Okay. This time, Crimson Temple 100 maps is now concluded. Quickly, one of the things I just realized at the end, I got way fewer breach rings in Crimson Temple than Cemetery. I didn't think about that happening, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense since I'm able to clear breaches much more efficiently in Cemetery, so I'm able to get a lot more of them out of the Cemetery than the Crimson Temple. So, 1 point towards Cemetery over Crimson Temple for that. I actually leveled more gems this time, slightly. It's just sort of kind of weird. 2 more gems, normal. Anyway, yeah, basically the same story on the gems. I do have a couple extra gems to Val, because I improved my efficiency on those a little bit. We got Dump Tab A, Dump Tab B, and I can't remember how far in the Dump Tabs filled on Cemetery. Can't really remember. The RNG overall was, well, obviously a lot better than in Cemetery, since I didn't drop a single Brother Stash in Cemetery. And if you will recall, the sort of floor for the Cemetery with no Brother Stashes was around 8x an hour for me, slightly less. And then the what I estimate to be the average, which would have been 3 brother stashes in 100 maps, I think is pretty accurate. I'm pretty sure that's fairly accurate estimate. That would have resulted in 12 X an hour in the cemetery. So this Crimson Temple farm should be obvious to anyone farming it because the Apothecary card drops there. That's the Mage Blood card. 7 years bad luck also drops. Enlightened also drops. And Dragon's Heart drops everywhere, so that one's in there too. We're trying to do an apples-to-apples comparison to see where it falls. So the cemetery is a much more favorable layout for multiple reasons. Much better legions, much better breaches, better map boss, though it doesn't really make a difference when you nuke the map boss. Both of them have a arena room that is super easy to access and very short. So, the next thing I need to do is bring you down to the desktop. Okay, here we go. I see 108.62 exalts in here. I can't remember how many exalts I had in Cemetery, so this is obviously going to be more because guess what? There it is. Apothecary quantity 1, somewhere around map 40. You would have seen it in the highlights anyway. Look how many... or look how much currency this is giving me compared to literally anything else that drops. 6,000 something chaos. 10 raw exalts. It started off terribly. I only had 3 raw exalts after the first 50 or so maps. Did get some good RNG there in the back end with that. Got some really good RNG with emblems too. Got all the way up to 16. That's one of the higher amounts I've seen. That's actually super high, I think, for the fact that I'm doing this in Crimson Temple and getting less juice out of the legions. Surprising to see the Screaming Invitations up there so high. That's surprising to see them up there that high. Well, we got Chaos Orbs, Awakened Sextants still. Awakened Sextants not worth that much. Tons of stack decks. So just like last time, I will open the stack decks at the end of this video for fun little gambling session. 18 Templar emblems, nice. 7 years bad luck. Okay, so that's 2 of those. 4 Enlightens. Unfortunately, the Enlightened, I think the Enlightened and 7 years bad luck have approximately the same drop rate. If one is more common than the other, it's the Enlightened is more common. I do believe 3 Dragon's Hearts dropped in the Cemetery. Guess what? 3 Dragon's Hearts dropped in the Crimson Temple too. Dragon's Heart presumably still has the same drop rate as Brother Stash, unless maybe it doesn't. If GG Ninja nerfed it, some people think they did. My theory is that the lack of Beyond on the Atlas crafting bench is causing Brother Stash to appear less often than currently, but I could be wrong. Abandoned Wealth did get lucky and got a nice div card dupe from the Strongbox. That was Abandoned Wealth. Yeah. Oh yeah, a bunch of Crimson Temple maps, which do sell in bulk for a higher price than what they're listed here for. All the emblems sell on TFT in full stacks for more than they're listed here. I did get some uniques this time around. I didn't last time, so I did get an Aegis Aura. That's, I mean, that right there puts the unique RNG way over what I got in Cemetery. I got Maloney's Mechanism Quiver. I got a couple other things here. Let's actually see uniques real quick. Oh yeah, Red Blade Banner. I don't know if that's really. I got a couple calls of the Brotherhood, a Fortress, Skin of the Loyal, Prism Gun. Yeah, kind of fall off down after that. But especially with that Aegis Aura in there, that's huge. Uniques are not worth as much this season as before because of all the craziness with recombinating rares. But yeah, anyway, looks pretty good. So let's take a look at the numbers, where they fall at. So in total investment was 20.62x. That's like 2x less than the investment the first time. I still haven't figured out where that difference came from, actually. Alright, so 108.62x. Which actually we don't know yet because we still got to calculate these in. So I am counting leveled 3 enhances at half an exalt apiece. I think that's perfectly reasonable to count them at that price, given that you can sell them for almost that amount anyway. Just level them up and sell them. But I think corrupting them actually, with the odds being what they are and the value of it for level 4 enhanced, that does actually come out more favorable. So I estimate about half an exalt worth leveling and enhance from 1 to 3. Grasping males, I'm estimating at 1 exalt a piece. However, where is it? Got a pretty thumbnail here somewhere. Grasping male. Oh, that was from before. Here it is. Just for some proof to anyone who's curious what grasping male sells for these days. This happened like it's about 5 days ago, I think. They were supposedly on trade for like 6-7 exalt. I put mine up for a little bit more. It sold within a couple hours. This was like 5 or 6 days ago. I have every reason to believe that grasping males with the 100 increased global defenses is going to actually go up in value over time as more and more people try to recombinate it, and it just keeps not only recombinating but also fracturing. So fracturing it first, then recombinating it is going to make a ton of them disappear. And because the excitement of making ultra mirror tier body armors is there, people are able to put this mod on Val Regalias and things like that, and it just tons and tons of them are getting deleted, and people are excited to get ultimate gear. So it's even more precious of a mod than ever before. So I foresee him going up to maybe 10 or 12x per or more even. So I'm gonna start thinking about raising the estimated value of grasping males even beyond what they are now. But I'm still gonna say 1x a piece for now. So we don't really need to identify them yet. We can just add 4x there. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's 11x on top of what I found there. So that would put my gross at 19.62x. And we take that minus the total investment. Wow, 99 exalts on the money. Too bad I can't do math in my head. Now, time it took. So I didn't really check the time on the back half, but I did keep track of the time on the first 50 maps. I didn't have any issues with them to log off or get some sleep or whatever. So I was able to do the first 50 maps straight through. No delays. I didn't have anything come up weird. It took me 4 hours and 15 minutes to do that. And the cemetery took me 4 hours to do 50 maps. So the cemetery was 8 hours, and this was 8 hours and 50-ish. Yeah. So we gotta take this number divided by 8.5. Should be it. And it's 11.6. It's actually a little less than I thought it would be. A little bit less. So that's 11x, 6.4x, 11.65x per hour. That's interesting. So I, just off the top of my head, I figured I made like 13 or 14x an hour. So being a little lower, surprising. I think my RNG was actually about exactly what it should be. It's possible I should get up to 2 apothecaries in a 100 map. That's the real question, isn't it? Should I be getting 1 or should I be getting 2 on average? I'm not really sure. So much more testing will be needed. I'm gonna continue figuring out the best Crimson Temple strategy. I may end up checking out of Legion, maybe not. Not really sure. I don't think I'm gonna do anything crazy like take the Wander Keystone, anything like that. But I will absolutely test a more mega juicing strategy. I will test. The ultimate test will of course include Beyond at the very least in my Atlas passives. For sure. I'm not sure whether it'll include Beyond rolled on the maps, you know, like uncorrupted, or whether it include 8 mod corrupted. It's hard to say. But for now, we got 11.65x an hour in the Crimson Temple. I had only made a little under 8x an hour in the cemetery, but an estimated 12x an hour-ish with proper drop rates in fruition. Alright, so I guess that's the final answer there. Hopefully I'm not missing anything. Let's go through the gambling portion of the video right now, and I think we'll start with the Grasping Males, looking for 100% increased global modifiers. Whoop. Miss on the first one. Miss on the second one. Miss on the third one, and oh, all misses. All misses. Wow. Okay, I guess this might be worth something. What about this one? I don't even remember ever seeing this mod before. Nah. Yeah, I almost leveled in the hands on the quiver, so it looks like poor luck on the Grasping Males.
Keep your life to your own.
Okay, let's see what we get now. Last time I did, what did I do? I did 12 enhanced, and I got 4 of them to go up to level 4. We got nope, nope, oh, down 1. Nope. Yeah, I deserve some bad RNG. Double down. Ooh, triple down. Ooh. that is some awful shit right there. Ooh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Painful. So painful. 3 down, 0 up. Last time I got 4 up, 0 down. So, I mean, okay. Can't complain. Let's see what corrupted these are worth. Okay, they finally went down a little bit in value. Actually, I seem to always be able to sell these at a higher price than what's listed there. So I'll put them all in for 43. These were selling at like 50 to 60 chaos 1 week ago, so they shouldn't go down too much further than that, though, because the whatchamacallit, the harvest thing that people do. Facetter's Lens, yeah, people get them for the Facetter's Lens. So this might be kind of the lowest point for corrupted level 3 enhanced gems. Okay, so basically worst case scenario for the RNG between the Grasping Males and enhanced gems, we could more than make up for it right here. There was stacked deck gamble. Yep. Is that all of them? I can't hardly see. I think I'm probably missing it. Yeah, I was totally missing 3 of them. What the hell? Okay, that should be it. Let's see the stacked decks carry me to victory. Well, the void. Okay. 3 hurrahs for the void. It's really standing its ground. In comes Arrogance of the Val. Okay. Double, wow. I have to say, pretty typical results so far. Oh!
My mana is gone.
That's a 1.3x card. Alright. That's a big hit. That just about makes me even, I think, on all the stacked decks right there. That's pretty big. No, it doesn't quite make me even. A little bit under here. Double academic. Almost back-to-back academics. Not looking too bad so far. Haha. Hoarder. I love that card. Bijou. On that. What's his face card? Over halfway done. Ooh, the Enlightened. Okay. Stacked deck from the Crimson Temple. Drafts the Enlightened. Okay. That's cute. I'd say it's pretty obvious that I came out ahead on these so far. I got well over 2x in... well over 2x in div cards out here. Come on, we know what's there. I think the Apothecary is in here somewhere. I'd rather get a House of Mirrors. I've never seen a House of Mirrors drop ever anywhere in the game, so that would actually get me excited.
My mana is gone.
Saint's Treasure. Well, that's lovely. Last set. Alright, done. Well, there it is. That's a pretty nice looking one there. We got the Enlightened and level 4 Enlightened. Well, I'm all about that Enlightened, I guess. Maybe I should level and corrupt Enlightens. Awakened Enlightened gems. I'm gonna do that eventually for fun. When I'm swimming in currency. Okay, folks. It's been a pleasure. I don't know what to make of this. So I felt like the RNG, I felt like the execution of the maps was fine. Oh yeah, I didn't talk about leveling. So I did not successfully level at all. There was a point where I did have 6 bars of XP and then I just died a few times. I actually died from looking at chat. I absolutely feel like I could level easily to 99 in the cemetery. Focused on, you know, leveling. And I did craft this beautiful rare ring for that reason. So I took out the Magic Find ring to put this ring in. That is really the only thing that I changed. I didn't change anything on the Atlas, didn't change anything about my build, really. But I did put this ring on because I wanted more EHP. My character is actually very tanky, and its downside is pure health. So having a ring like this give me tons of extra health, as well as life on hit from the Hunter mod allowed me to switch out the 3 passive points. I got 3 passive points out of it, and then I was able to go Whispers of Doom instead of the typical anointment for Omniscience, and that netted me an extra 16 elemental penetration on this build. Unless the monsters come out immune to curse, then it backfires on me, but yeah, normally that's not the case. Well, as always, stay tuned for some videos to come. So the apples to apples comparison is done. Actually, I guess my ultimate conclusion is that the maps came out pretty even. Doing Brother Stash and Crimson Temple. Of course, it depends on that Apothecary drop rate, and I'll have to do a lot more Crimson Temple to know for sure. I think the next major farming video I'll do will be on Crimson Temple mega juicing stuff. So I'm talking Gilded Scarabs, and probably not Deli Orbs, but Gilded Scarabs going beyond, at least on the Atlas, and therefore having beyond on a few of the maps as well. That'll be my plan. I might come up with a quick tips video. Something else. Oh, right. Of course, almost forgot. The next video will almost certainly be the continuation of the low budget to medium budget to high budget Soul Thirst showcase on with Soul Thirst and Tornado Shot. A lot of you are curious about that, so no major changes. The addition of Omniscience, obviously, will be included on that. So, as usual, arrangement. If you have any questions, we have a comment section below. If you want to make any comments, any suggestions about Crimson Temple. I am not an expert of Crimson Temple farming, but I am something of an expert on Divination card farming and Cemetery farming. So, if you have any tips about the Crimson Temple, specifically that map layout, what kind of strategy is probably best. I have already taken a look at some of the content creators. I'm aware of a few things floating out of there. Nothing has really caught my eye. I know there's like a Wanderer strategy on that, and I'm not really that interested in that one. Deli Orb strategy, I'm a little curious about that, potentially. But the next major thing on my agenda is to farm up a mirror to get Path of Math's bow mirrored. As you can see, I'm not floating hardly any currency at all. The last bit of it kind of went into that ring, as a matter of fact. Immediate agenda, level to 100. Secondary agenda, farm a mirror. And somewhere in that process, I'm going to do mega juicing on the Crimson Temple and come out with a video on the high-end budget Soul Thirst Tornado Shot. I'll see you guys very soon in the next video. Still going to be busy with work for a while, so I'll pump out those videos as soon as I can. Stay tuned. Bye for now.